Hello guys, good day and welcome to the Little Farmer's Farm with me, Guru MURPHINDA. And on today's show we're going to be planting up our brassicas in a big brassica tent. This, the tiki tent. Now, we prepared the soil last time, if you remember. We've amended the soil and put bloodfish and bone in, organic chicken manure and perlite to loosen up the soil, the perlite. Obviously the nutrition is provided by the bloodfish and bone and the chicken manure, but we've loosened it up with perlite, plenty of perlite, to allow for that drainage to come through, because they don't like cauliflowers and cabbage and broccoli doesn't like to be sat in boggy water, and it also assists in the prevention of club root if you've got good drainage in your soil. So that's what we've done previously. Now, all I'm going to be doing is planting them up now, but I'm going to add some, because of the club root issues. Take a look at club root. It's a soil-borne pathogen that can affect root growth and stunt the plants. So we're going to try and minimise that as much as we can by adding some lime as well in to our planting positions. So let's crack on with that, guys. So this is our first little section. So I'm starting off here, which is at the back end, the sort of cheeky hut facing end, and I'm going to work my way around and do all the beds. But I'm going to start here. Now I'm sat on a little stool because I've got a sore knee, but I'm going to have to bite the bullet and get down on my left knee, I think, to get in. So what I want to do is I want to come away about a foot from each side and put my first impression into the soil here. This is my first planting position. And once I've done this and roughened up the soil a little bit, like this, then I'm going to put some lime in there. Now I've got some garden lime, but to do that, safety first, I'm going to put on some gloves. And what these gloves will do is prevent the lime from getting on my fingers, and then I've just got to remember not to touch my eyes, because lime can cause issues. It can burn you, the lime. It's not particularly strong lime, this. It's not like quick lime or anything. It is garden lime, but you've got to be careful. You don't want to get this anywhere near your mouth and your eyes, because it'll sting and it'll burn. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to put this glove on, like so, get a sprinkling of the lime, just a bit like that, and mix it in around, just a dusting. Oh, I'm not even catching that on camera, am I? Just a dusting like this, and then work it in that location. And then our little plant is going to go there in the middle. It's hard to do with one hand this, but that's where it's going to go. The little plant. Those are the little plants up there. And we've got the purple sprouting broccoli, which is what I'm going to be planting in this area. The purple sprouting. I'm going to offset them, so one's going to go there, one's going to go here, and then it's going to go like that, zigzagging all the way down, and we'll see how we get on. Hello. So here's our hole that we've made, and here is our plant. Now you see these little baby leaves that are on it at the bottom, these little starter leaves as I call them. I'll nip those out, and what I want to be doing is burying it so that it's around there, just above where there's a thin bit, and then it gets thicker where them two starter leaves were. So I bury it just above that. I don't know if you can make it out properly, this. There's not a lot I can do about that, but I bury it and press it in just above where it gets thick, where it gets thicker. the stem and seat it down. Give it a good seat down, press it down into the soil. And once I've done that, I want to make sure that the root ball is surrounded by soil, and to do that, I just take a little bit of water in the watering can. Be careful I don't drench you. And dribble it around the plant. And that will hopefully wash down. Oh, it's because I don't want to drench you. Or rather drench my phone. That'll hopefully wash down the soil around the root ball of our little baby plants. Afterwards, once it's settled in, tomorrow, I'll give it a good dousing. Once it's found its seat, I'll give the whole bed a dousing. But you can see there, that's it sat in its little new home. And because it's seated nicely now, that should be fine. That should be great. Seated. So they like free draining soil, but around where the bases are, where they're actually sat into the soil, they like to be firmly planted. And that helps to keep the stem straight as it grows. It will kink over, but you want to keep the stem straight as it grows up, if you can, without breaking your elbow on these like I've just done. But yeah, keep that straightness as best as you can, especially with your broccolis, because you want them to grow up, you know, like that. Every little helps, doesn't it? Because they will fall over if you don't do it right. They'll sort of flop over and just not be as good. They won't look as good and they won't grow as well. But as you can see there, we've planted a few more in. I've nearly done this bed. So that long bed, this long bed, I'll have taken 14 plants. These are all the Calabrese. These are the marathon Calabrese. These, or the big broccoli, as you might know it from that you get in the shops, in the stores. And these are last year they did fantastically well. But I'm just doing broccoli all down this side, the marathon broccoli down this side, and it should do the whole side plus two more into this bed at the back. So yeah, we're going to be. I'm definitely going to fill this this cage up with the Brassicas today, guys. Definitely. So most of my little babies have been planted in now, and I've got 5 left there. 5 of the cauliflowers left. Now what I've done is I've put the purple sprouting broccoli, which grows quite tall. It grows to about 3.5–4 feet tall. I put those at the back of these beds. So they run all the way around the back until they get to about there. There's 12 in there. And the rest of the cauliflowers are in front. So the tall ones, the cauliflowers will grow to about, 18 inches, 2 feet tops, the plants, but these will be higher. So it'll look aesthetically pleasing to the eye, and it's also a bit more of a sensible way, really, of planting them out, because I can get to the fronts and harvest these cauliflowers without stepping over the bloody broccoli. The broccoli is going to be easier. The broccoli heads are going to be about this high, about 2 feet high, and the cauliflowers are going to be about 1 foot. Easier for harvesting, really. I can take one of each as I move it along, but it never works out that way, guys. You always get a glut when you plant them all at the same time, like I have. But there you go. So they're going to be perfectly fine and dandy. They've been watered in. Obviously, they've all been limed. A good tablespoon of lime in each one of them, mixed in to the planting stations, and that should assist in the retardance of the club root, boys and girls. The club root. because we had club root in here last year, but it didn't really affect the plants as far as I could see, because we had whopping great cauliflowers out of here and broccoli. It didn't really affect it, but especially in this section, I put extra lime in this back section. We were seeing club root, and in here as well we saw club root. Now I've got those pak choi and I've got those 5 left, and I haven't amended this soil yet, so I'll amend that soil. I'll get some I'll do like I did last time. If you missed that episode, I stick my hands in and I tilled it down to about 6 or 7 inches with my hand, and then we add in, and tilled again, we add in the get these little weeds out. We add in then a bit of perlite, this stuff, and again with the lime afterwards. So I'll work that in. So blood, fish and bone goes in there. The chicken manure pellets, the organic chicken manure pellets, they'll go into the, it'll be all rotivated by hand, this. All I do is I get my hand, oh God, this knee, get my hand, and in we go. And I just work my way down into the soil, turning it over, looking for these, which are weeds. Weeds in the form of horses' tails, those. Horses' tails and bindweed tends to infest the beds from time to time. Although I think, fingers crossed, I'm on top of it. I've not noticed too much horses' tail and bindweed in these beds. Inside the super duper Brassica tent. I haven't seen so many of them. But as you can see, I'm going down like a hand's depth and turning the soil, working the soil, massaging the soil, getting air into it, getting aeration into it and breaking up any hardness so that we've got a loose mix, got a loose till ready for planting up. I've had an idea with those pak choi. I'm going to use them for fillers, because pak choi will be ready in about 4 or 5 weeks, whereas the other plants will be about 10 weeks. So I'm going to put the pak choi into planted with these. You'll see when I do it in a bit. But I'm just going to work my way through there, really work that deep, so that I'm turning it and I'm kind of milling the soil into a finer consistency. When I do come across these buggers, I just gently but firmly pull them out and chuck them down there to be cleared up after. But yeah, I'm going to be working all that. Then I'm going to add in, I'll show you, I'll add in the blood, fish and bone and the chicken manure pellets, the perlite. So that's been hand tilled down to the depth of my hand, and it's nice and crumbly now. But to add to that, we're going to be putting the amendments in, the blood, fish and bone, the organic chicken manure and the perlite. As I was saying before, you do find these perennial weeds like the hedge bindweed and horses' tails. That's hedge bindweed rhizome that grows under the ground. All these little spurs that you can see coming off it become the bindweed that pops up and entangles your plants. So we get rid of that, take it off site, that, because we don't want it. And over the years, as I've been doing it, when I first came on, it was absolutely atrocious on here for bindweed and horses' tails. But over the years, touch wood, we've been sort of keeping it not under control, but retarding it, keeping it down to some sort of a manageable level, you know. But yeah, it's a pain in the backside, that stuff. That's going to be disposed of off-site. A long way away from this site, that is going. All of that stuff, couch grass, all of that, I'll just get shut. I don't bother trying to compost it. That you'll be wasting your time and spreading the problem. So there we go. I'm going to get the amendments into that now. A few good scoops of blood, fish and bone, a few good scoops of chicken manure. There's the blood fishing bone over there, and the organic chicken manure's behind it. The organic manure, chicken manure pellets, they're going in. And I might give it a dusting of that as well, the farmyard manure, because that's not had any nutrition in it, I don't think. And it's very clayey, that as well. I'm going to have to add quite a bit of perlite in and some organic matter. So that's what I'll do. I'll add the farmyard manure in and the perlite. So that's 6 handfuls of each, really. The perlite, the blood fish and bone, and the chicken manure pellets. And all that is to nutrify the soil and assist with drainage. So I just work it in, so it's got a good even mix all through the growing medium, a good even mix. The lime tends to, well, I do put the lime in where the planting stations are, because I don't want to sort of waste my lime. I just get a bag of that, which lasts me a couple of years, the garden lime, and I just judiciously put it where the plants are going to be going. Brassicas like alkaline soil anyway. But the thing with manure is, manure can add acidity to the soil, a bit of acidity to the soil. So you've got to have that balancing act between your acids and your alkalis, and favour slightly the alkali. You know, anything above 7 is alkali on the pH scale, and anything below 7 is slightly acidic, getting even stronger as it goes lower. So obviously, like 1 on the pH scale will be pretty nasty stuff. It's the same with the alkalis as well. The more caustic it gets instead of acidic, the higher the number. So I'm going to work all that through now, work it down into the mix, and then it's ready then for flattening off, for brushing. Alright, so now that all that's nicely integrated, I just want a nice flat surface, so I'm just going to use my stiff yard brush and just gently, using its weight, move it over the surface, and that fills up all the little nooks and crannies and gets it nice and flat. It's all about the aesthetics, but if it's flat, you've got a good sort of palette to work off then, a good surface to work off. Not a palette, what's it called? Canvas. You know it's a good even mix, and it's flat. So the next step is to get the plants in, and like we did before, we're just going to get these cauliflowers. I'm going to do them in a 5 points on a domino. So I'm going to put 1 there, about here, 1 there, about here, 1 in the middle, about there, and 1 there, and 1 there. Doesn't matter if they're closer to the edge, because the leaves can come out this way. There's a wide enough path here. It's like 2.5, 3 feet wide, this path. So if the leaves come out a foot, it's not going to really matter, is it? So, although they might be a bit close at the back there, they'll just push themselves forwards, the leaves. But that's it. And then interplant then with your pak choy, which is what I'm going to be doing next. But I'll get these ones in, get the last of the cauliflowers in. There we go, all watered in. Now, because I push them down into a little bit of a depression there, the water, when you do water them in, goes into that, and it creates a sort of a bomb crater. And when it rains, the water will tend to go around where the roots, and when I water it will tend to go around the roots and collect there, which is good, because that's what we want. We want that. But we also want it, with the perlite, to be free draining. It's a bit of a balancing act, really, when you're doing brassicas.
But yeah, just make sure they're stood up straight if you can. And because we don't like wasting water as well, I like to put it around the bases, and then once a week give it all a good soaking. But probably twice a week if needs be, if the weather is dry and hot. Then I'll just water around the bases, a few inches around the bases, so that the roots are getting a drink, rather than the leaves. Because the leaves don't need it, the roots do need it. The roots will feed the leaves with moisture. That wind's a bit rampant, isn't it? It's getting a bit windy. Like I say, I want them to be firmly seated, these, and standing up for themselves. Beauty of a tent like this is it'll break the wind, it'll break the force of the wind a little bit. But I do want them stems to be agitated by the wind, and that'll strengthen those stems. The plant will know then to put more energy into strengthening itself and pulling nutrients from the soil to strengthen its stems and increase its vigour and its growth, because it's going to get a bit of a pounding by the weather. They're a natural thing, obviously, plants, aren't they? They're as God created. I'm talking to myself and spinning you around like a fool, but you can see the waddle there. Once that door's shut, this door's going to get shut shortly. Another reason being, from now on, there is a chance that we're going to start to see some cabbage white butterflies knocking around. Now, the cabbage white butterflies and the pigeons are your enemy, really, the wood pigeons, when it comes to planting out like this. So the cage, the beauty of the cage is it keeps those sons of guns out, doesn't let them in. What it can't keep out though is slugs. So I'm going to apply a few sprinklings of slug pellets just around the planting stations, about 6 inches around, so between them. And those slug pellets then, because it's inside the tent as well, no animals can get to it. Maybe a rat could get in and eat one of them, but I'm not too fussed about that. Don't like rats anyway. Don't like them, vermin. But the birds can't get to them. I don't want to kill the wood pigeons, I just don't want them eating my crops. So, and cats and things like that, we don't want them mooching around and accidentally picking up some of the slug pellets. But I'm going to do that. That's the last step, really. I'm going to sprinkle some slug pellets around the planting stations, and then when the slugs come along, they'll eat the idea is they'll eat the slug pellets first before they get to the plants, and that'll kill them off. That'll dry them out, blow them up, kill them off, and keep our plants pristine. I didn't do it one year. I tried to rely on beer traps and stuff like that, and I got decimated. So the best thing I found is those blue slug and snail killer pellets. It's organic there. Shower proof for up to 14 days. I'm only going to do it this once. I'm going to do it once, and that should retard the population of slugs, and then once they're fully established and they're strong enough, I'll just let them run the course. Slugs will eventually get in, and I don't like using anything like slug pellets. But as I say, because we're inside the tent, I'm waffling on, I know, but because we're inside the tent, the animals, the fauna, can't get to it and can't accidentally eat it and make themselves sick with it. You know, only your unwanted pests, the slugs and the snails, will get to it inside this cage, as long as I keep that door shut. Keep the pigeons and the cabbage whites out, and then control the slug population with those. I tried Namo slug and also. Yeah, over the years I've tried all kinds. I've tried Namo slug, which is it's a parasite that's supposed to climb onto the slugs. You water it in, you put the eggs or whatever they are, the namasides, whatever they are, nematodes, into the watering can, mix it up and agitate it, and then you pour it all over your land. I didn't really see any benefit from it. It's only O'Neill at Simplify Gardening. He's been doing it for some time and it works for him. But I did it 2 years on the bounce and I didn't see a difference, I'll be honest with you. And it's quite expensive. But the slug pellets definitely do work. they do work to a great extent. So that's what I'm doing. All right, hope you can forgive me for that, but it works, and it's not detrimental to the environment because of the position that we're going to be applying it. It's not going to affect anything, any of the wildlife. Okay guys, I'll crack on. There we go, all the little pak choys are in as well, interplanted. The little pak choys. There's 12 little pak choys in. Cauliflowers, purple sprouting broccoli, and I think the family have arrived as well. As you can see, I've applied a goodly amount of the slug pellets. As they come out, the slugs, they'll eat that first before they get to the plants and die. And as they die off, good. They won't be nesting in my brassicas. I'm a swine, aren't I? It is organic stuff, and as I say, it's all going to be inside this cage, so it's not going to affect the wildlife. There's a Bradley and a lady farmer. Hello, Bradley.
Hello.
You come and see us? Good lad. Next up, we're going to plant out some onions. And I think we'll be doing the Centurion first, because the Stuttgarter were a couple of weeks after, so we're going to put the Centurion ones in first. So what our Bradley's doing, if I can show you, is he's using his big seps. Aren't you using your big seps? And he's going to move all the bricks and stuff that are actually on top of this black membrane, because we covered this bed up now for 2 years. We're going to move it over there, all the bricks off it, and the bits of paving, just moving them over there. I'll sort them out after. Just getting them out of the way, aren't we, at the minute? They're going to all be taken off, and then we can reveal what's underneath. There are weeds growing where the light's got to them, around the sides, but we're open in the middle, it's not going to be too bad. We're just going to prep this bed, fluff it all up again, and maybe add a couple of bags of compost to it, and other amendments. But the onions they're not particularly hungry plant, the onions, so we don't have to put too much with them. I'm just going to put some bloodfish and bone in with them, with these ones. That's it, mate. Just move that cage out of the way. If you just rest it, stick it down there in that gap where that other bit of metal is. Right. Right, so you carry on with that, pal. I'm interested to see what's underneath there, because it's been covered up for 2 years, that. Because we have the bad club root in that. We're not going to grow any more brassicas in that for a couple of years now, but it's going to be a dedicated onion bed, I think, this. Onions and other alliums, like leeks and garlic. Perfect washing weather, this. It's warm and windy, so that's ideal. Bradley's just checking all of these out now, all these weeds out. And there isn't that many, if you look. There's not that many. We covered it up with horse manure, the well-rotted horse manure stuff. And I'm sure that was a couple of years ago, that. Or it might have been last year, I might be wrong. And then we covered it all over and left it once the onions were out. And that's been like that for about a good 9 months. Just having the weeds suppressed, and they're running around the sides now. It just saves you a lot of time and effort. But we're digging all them out. It's coming up for dandelion season though, so we are going to be plagued with dandelion starts. But it gives us a bit more of a blank canvas, doesn't it? So we're going to clear all of that out, fluff it all up, and then chuck some bloodfish and bone in and get planting. Now, I got sidetracked there into clearing all of these brambles off. And we've had a bit of an accident. So that's the raspberry bed, and this was supposed to be a blackberry bed, but we never had a blackberry off it in 3 years. They were absolutely crap, and I'm sure it was brambles and not raspberries, because it was just thorns all over the place. So I put those on, those heavy duty gloves, and I chopped them all down, and our Bradley's been casting them up to the tip at the top. In that, he's done about 5 or 6 runs, Bradley, in that. And then I started to dig up the roots. The roots are here, you see. The roots. So to do that, I was using my fork, and unfortunately, I don't know my own strength. But looking at that fork, it's a Tesco's job, this. And it's rubbish. Look at that inside. It's got like a fiberglass coating on it. And like a brush handle inside. It's rubbish. So that's not a bulldog tool. Bulldog tools are your best ones in the United Kingdom. Or they certainly used to be. But yeah, so I've not been able to do it. I'm going to carry on with the weeding, and then I'm going to get another implement tomorrow and dig those up. I might have to use a pickaxe to get them up. Certainly need a good fork or replacement handle for the fork if I can possibly get one of them. Because I don't like wasting. There's nothing wrong with the metal bit. It's just the handle's rubbish. It snaps straight away. So I'll clear that out now, continue on with these paths. We have been weeding, you see. So we've done quite a bit of weeding between the two of us. It just needs brushing out and tidying now. But that's been done. That's been weeded, that bed. And I need to turn it over, but I think I'll get the tiller off Mick. I'll borrow a tiller the Hun off Mick and do that properly. It's quicker with a tiller. And crack on. This is the lady farmer's side, boys and girls. This is her side, the good lady farmer's side. So I'll carry on with the weeding. They've just nipped off now because they're going to get something to eat, and they're going to go and watch that Minecraft film tonight. That's out today. Bradley's been blagging her head to go and watch it, so that's what's happening. Unfortunately, I won't be present at that one because I'm a miserable get. Yeah, so when my fork broke, there was much cursing and gnashing of teeth. It's disappointing that I'm going to have to get a new one. I am going to have to get a new one of them. Anyway, let's talk about tomorrow. On tomorrow's show, we'll be filling that bed up with onions. These particular onions that are in here. Those Centurion onions at the back there, see them? And there's two trays there as well. All the rest are Stuttgarter. We've got 10 trays of each, so there's 120 onions of the Centurion and 120 onions of the Stuttgarter, which I started off about 10 or 15 days or something like that afterwards. After 24th of the 3rd, they went in. So they've not been in for 2 weeks. The other ones have. They've been in for about 3 to 4 weeks, something like that. The Centurion. So I'm going to put those in first. And then I'm probably going to wait another week for the Germans to catch up a little bit before I plant those ones out. Because I've got to get all these potatoes in as well. I'm going to start off the new potatoes, the first earlies, tomorrow for definite. And then the second earlies the week after. And then the main croppers. That's probably backwards, that, isn't it? Because the main croppers do take a lot longer to come through. And you can plant them all more or less at the same time. These are all chitting up nicely. And I've got to get them out of the bags. So I'll just show you. Some people chit them, some don't. Those are the chits coming through now. I'm going to cut them out of the bag so as not to break any of those chits that are coming on. A couple of years we've been putting them into the egg cartons there. But I've not done it this time because I've been lazy. But the farmers don't really do it, do they? The farmers don't tend to chit the spuds. They just chuck them in, don't they? When it's chucking in time. But I'm definitely going to get some of these Sarpomeras there. There's probably about 60 Sarpomera plants there. They'll be going into the big bed. Because the potato variety Sarpomera is a main crop potato, but it tends to grow quite big. You get big spuds off it, good for chipping. And that's going to go into this bed, which is purposely built for main crop potato. This one, which is a 16 foot by 3 foot specific tailored spud growing bed, that. And we'll get them all in there. We'll get all 60 in there, I would say. spaced about 18 inches apart, something like that. Probably 16 inches apart, because I'll be putting 3. I've been doing rows going this way, and I'll be doing 3 at a time. 3, 3, 3, 12, 15. So we'll get 15 plants into there, 15 plants into the next one, and 15 plants into the next one, and 15 plants into the next one, taking up all 60. I'm guessing 60. I've not counted them all, but generally it's something like 30 to a bag, 30 seed potatoes to a bag, but they're going to be going into there, the Sarpomera. The second earlies will be going into there, where the rabbits have been digging the warrens. Bradley's been playing down there. But he's done us a favour really, because he's loosened the soil up a little bit with it, doing his tunnels and what have you. The dinosaurs and Godzilla were having a big fight, and there was a giant hippopotamus there as well. I don't know what he was doing. A couple of dragons, but they were all having a fight in there. And what I might do as well is put some first earlies in there, second earlies in here, first earlies in there, second earlies in there as well, and then first earlies in here, in these two, and have another bed as well. I usually do them in buckets too, but I'm trying to save a bit of money and not buy any more compost. Now there is some soil over on that lane that I've spotted, so I might well, if I've got spare potatoes, I might well do them, but they're going to go in here as well. And what I'll do is I'll get 15 at least in there, half a bag, into this bed. Look at that prickly beast. Ooh, that's sharp as well. Is it milk thistle? That it's some sort of thistle, isn't it? It's a whopping specimen. I'd dig that up if I had a fork. But I'm going to clear all that out, and I'll get potatoes in there as well. We're not doing sweet corn this year. It was a washout last 2 years. I'm not bothering. But I am going to be doing the spuds. And maybe, as I say, I may well do some more first earlies in buckets and see a comparison between the ones in the ground and the ones in the buckets. And I'll be putting the buckets like I did last year into the big brassica cage, just to fill up the paths. Because you can move the buckets about, you see. You can move the buckets back out of the way while you get into 10-year brassica crops, and then just put it back in its position afterwards. If you're doing them in the square buckets, which I will be doing, I'll probably be getting about 20 buckets in there, potentially. Right then, guys, it's been great. You've been wonderful as ever. If you're a lady, you've been beautiful, fragrant and fantastic. If you're a gentleman, you've been forthright, virile and masculine. And if you've been something in between, you've been something in between. I've been good in MURPHINDA. And a brief cameo from the MURPHINDA family there, or half of them. And I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed our planting up of our brassicas and other things. Right. I'll see you tomorrow, boys and girls. Saturday night tonight. Don't get too drunk. You're up for the plots in the morning. We love you all. See you later, guys. Bye-bye.